All right, welcome to your yoga class. I'm Brittney, this is Robyn, and she will be guiding us first through a little breath work. So meet us on your mat. We will require some blocks and take that block with you as you lay down.
Okay, everyone, so you're going to start on your backs. You're going to bend your knees with your feet planted on the ground. Like Brittney said, have either a book or a block nearby that we're going to use for our breath work. Close your eyes and scan your body for anywhere that you are feeling anxiety or stress right now. And we're going to breathe through it. We're going to try and release that anxiety and stress. So just to start, we're going to do a count of 4 breaths in and release 4 breaths out. So breathe in for 4, out for 4. And really focus on where you're feeling the resistance with that block and what feedback you're getting in your body. Now we're going to breathe in for 5 and out for 5. Breathe one more time for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to do 4 rounds of 6 breaths in, and we're going to pause for 3 and then out for 6. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Release, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more rounds. One more. Take this moment and set an intention on your mat. Think about where you're holding these stresses and these anxieties in your body. And talk through each breath to release those tensions. Here today, for the rest of the week, pay attention to yourself and breathe. Go ahead and release that block off of your stomach.
Notice where your arms are. You can take them out to a T if you've got the space, or make some cactus arms. So bent at the elbows, but your elbows are at shoulder height. Walk your feet a little closer to your glutes. You can hug your knees up if you want to just rock your hips from side to side before you plant your feet back down. Lift your hips up and over to the right. Carry your knees back up towards your chest and let your legs fall over to the left for a gentle stretch and twist. I want you to stay with that same breath count, but instead of holding for 3, you can just hold for 1 and release, and hold for 1 at the bottom of your exhale. Let your shoulders get heavy. Remembering that if anything on the inside feels twisted or not aligned, it's your breath that can dissolve those twists, help you cleanse and detoxify, those feelings of stress or worry or anxiety. Try to relax one more muscle group here, whether it's your chest or around your hips or in your spine. And gently activate your core. Bring your knees back up through the middle. You can recenter your hips if you'd like. You can give yourself a little squeeze, or you can just switch right over to the other side. Shift your hips to the left. Bring your legs up and over to the right. And just especially work on getting your left hip stacked over your right while your left shoulder relaxes in towards the ground. With your arms either in that cactus shape or the T shape. Either of those are perfect. Call back in your breath. Keep your breath just as big as you had it before with a full 6 count. When you make your breath big, notice if you're pushing on some edges for yourself, pushing on some boundaries in your body. Breathe as if you still had that block on your belly, providing that resistance. Work on letting go of one more thing. Letting one more thing integrate into the ground. And then you can gently roll back onto your spine using your core. Bring your legs back to the center. Give yourself a little squeeze, a rock from side to side. Let's just see how our hip flexors are already feeling. I want you to hold onto your right leg and straighten out your left leg towards the top of your mat. You can hold your knee wider than your rib cage, so wider than all of that, so you can bring your knee towards your shoulder. And then you can hold into the shin, or you can pull into your hamstring underneath and kick your foot up towards the sky. If your foot or your ankle looks like it's within reach, go ahead and grab for it with your right hand. Put your left hand on top of your hips and let your thigh get a little heavier so that it almost feels like it's going to go parallel to the ground. And the more you kick your heel away from yourself, you can feel your hamstrings or your adductors. It's what I call a half happy baby. You can get your left leg to go heavier. Notice what you feel on the front of your thigh. Keeping your tailbone reaching for the ground with your heel going in opposition. And just stay for one more breath. Okay, listen closely. You're gonna let go of your foot, but keep your right leg up towards the sky and just circle out your ankle, holding onto your hamstrings. Notice what you feel on the backs of your legs. You can gently guide your thigh a little closer to your chest and feel out the entire back line of your right leg. Roll out your ankles. They feel like they've been stiff and stuck. Check out your toes. Can you spread them out really wide and crunch them up? Get curious with your body. And then try this one. Take your leg all the way over to the left side of your body. So your leg looks like a diagonal across the sky. Okay, you can use your left hand and hold onto your leg, your toes, or your ankle, whatever feels grabbable for you. But keep pulling your toes up towards your left shoulder and keep your right waistline just as long as your left. So you should feel this big outer hip and thigh stretch. Maybe still on the back side of your leg. Keep your right shoulder grounded if you can. So both sides of your sacrum should be on the ground. Last breath here. Good. And then you can bring your leg back up towards the sky, bend your knee. You can let that leg land, the foot land. Pull up your left leg in towards your chest, straighten out the right leg. So we'll be switching sides. You pull your knee up and over towards your right shoulder, feeling out your right hip flexor this time. Keep that right hand grounded and kick your left foot up towards the sky. You can grab onto even the back of your leg or maybe the outer inner side of your foot, that's okay. Keep your tailbone anchored down to the ground while you pull your left thigh pretty much parallel to the earth. Breathe into your inner thighs, all around your hips. Keep it breathing. And then you can straighten out the leg right over your hip. Hold onto your hamstrings with your fingers interlaced behind you, and you can circle out your ankle. You can bend and straighten, or even just pull the entire leg up towards your face. But be gentle with yourself. Try the stretching out of your toes and curling them up nice and tight. This ankle likes to crack. Notice that about yourself.
You definitely have that too.
Snap, crackle, pop. Okay. Now try kicking out through your heel and guide your leg across your body over to the right side this time while you keep your hips really anchored. So you don't even have to grab for your leg, but your quad is really turned on here. If you can reach for your toe, I feel a big difference on either side. But that's not a judgment. We're not passing judgment on ourselves here. We're breathing with it and just being the watcher, just noticing what comes up in the body. Because honestly, those feelings, those sensations, that's something to get worked through. It's not necessarily anything like a story that you need to tell about yourself that this side's always tighter or it's weaker. It's just you noticing, not labeling, but being with yourself. Starting to go numb on this side. Okay. Well, let's lift that leg right back up towards the sky. Bend your knees, hold on to both of them. And if you don't have a tailbone issue like I do right now, because I fell on my butt last week, you can rock up and down your spine until you can come up to a seat, or you can roll over onto your side and push yourself up. We're gonna meet in a tabletop shape. Okay. So once you land with your hands down underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, let's tuck your toes under and just push yourself back onto your feet. Maybe you walk your knees back even further and you land more into a child's pose and you shift your hips forward, coming more into an upward facing dog, or I should say high cobra. This part of the practice is really your own. I like to move with waves in my spine, breathing in as my hips come down and heart comes up, taking a big exhale to push back. One thing I like about a 6-part or 6-count breath is that you get to move slower and use the entire breath through your transitions. Let's stay in the child's pose. So walk your knees out even further apart, bring your toes together, settle your hips back as you reach your hands forward. Now this time, focus on your upper half. After you feel like you've gotten this anchor in your hips, feel out your spine and see if you can just settle your chest as much as you can in between your legs and really surrender here. I want you to feel this energy or lengthening even underneath your arms, right by your shoulders, and have a little activeness in your hands. A really
innocent curiosity underneath your fingertips. Notice what you feel. Do your hands feel sweaty or do they feel dry? Is there fun texture of your mat that you notice? When you tap into your senses, you start to get a little more present. What do you smell right now? Give yourself one more moment. Just pull all of those things in. And take a breath in. Lift yourself up through your tabletop. Open up your fingers even more. Tuck your toes under. Take a big exhale to your first down dog of the practice and feel free to pedal out. Or I just love working into a strong stillness. So since we got into the hamstrings a little bit already, you can start to feel what this more energized pose feels like. So plant down strong through your hands and keep picking your hips up even higher. Notice if you just plop your chest in between your arms, can you push down into your hands to find more of an activation in your shoulder girdles? And if your heels are lifted up, just make them really heavy. They don't have to touch the floor. Keep bending your knees if you still are working with those tight hamstrings, and really lengthen up your low back. Shake out your head. Maybe a no and then a yes. So you can do this for one more breath. Use a full inhale to lift your heels really slow. Keep lifting them nice and high, arms strong. When you breathe out, bend your knees and just walk your feet up slowly towards your hands. Walk your hands towards your feet. Take a breath in, find a halfway lift, and pause right there at that halfway lift. Keep your knees soft. Push your hips forward so you feel some weight transfer into your toes. Really squeeze your shoulder blades. Your hands can stay light on your thighs, or they can just keep reaching for your blocks, okay? Take that other breath in, feeling the length all the way out through the top of your head. Breathe out, roll your spine down. Collect your elbows in your hands, so you just intertwine your arms and do a little sway from right to left. Come back to the stillness right in the center. Relax your arms down, bend your knees, rebuild your spine. Start to go slow, use your full breath. When you're up to stand, take your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale and roll them down and back. Open up your palms, close your eyes. Call your intention back in. And start to check in with your body again. What do you feel now that you've moved a tiny bit? What do you notice without labeling? If you're struggling to feel anything, just tap back into your breath. How does that feel? Does it still feel smooth and expanded? Can you still breathe in with a freedom now, perhaps in your lungs? Or are there any more restrictions there? Open up your eyes, take a breath in, sweep your arms all the way up overhead. Let your hands touch together as you look up. Exhale and pull your thumbs in towards your heart space. And then heel toe your feet just a little bit wider. Interlace your fingers. Take a breath in and push your palms up towards the sky. And I want you to, I'll show you from the side. I just want you to circle out your arms, circle out your upper half. Your hips will slowly follow. It's as if you are literally a tornado. Your hips don't have to come too far forward. Notice if you feel that in your low back. Go ahead and reverse the circle out. Use your breath in to pick your heart up forward. Exhale to round into your back or push the hips back. And then when you feel even, take a breath in. Find your length. Separate your hands and really push down into the ground. Turn on your quads. Keep your tailbone down. Low ribs also down. Keep working your arms back by your ears. I want you to feel as tall as a bean stack.
Okay, take a big inhale. Exhale, fold yourself in half. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Again, energize for your upper half. Exhale and grab your blocks if you need them, just to frame your right foot. Step your left foot back, left foot or left knee down. Start to walk yourself up into this low lunge. So with your right knee over your ankle, I want you to just step back a little bit, really push into that foot so your hips are more over your left knee. Tuck your tail down, draw the belly button in so your whole entire waistband comes back. And then just let the hips come forward without losing that spaciousness in your low back. So you find more of an energy here. Then reach your arms all the way up overhead. Here's the challenge. Close your eyes and see if you can communicate to your right foot, your right big toe, your little toe, the inner and outer heel to just stay put. If you feel your knee wobbling right to left, tell that shin to stay grounded. Like a pin, like a peg in the ground. Okay, take a breath in, open your eyes, reach all the way up. When you exhale, take your arms to your shoulder height. Let your left arm stop. Keep swinging with your right arm and let yourself twist back. And stay right there in this little twist, okay? Imagine your belly button is still facing forward and your heart is facing over to the right. So your left arm's forward, right arm's back. Imagine you're getting pulled from both ends. And you're keeping that same communication, that same balance with your right foot. Keep your breath big. Okay, here's your next challenge. Take your right hand to your low back or your sacrum. Take a breath in and reach your left arm all the way up towards the sky again. You can add a little lean back. You can even look back at your right calf or heel and reach down for that. Or you can reach for your thigh. Woo, a little balance challenge. Yay. Stay for another breath. Feel out this right arm. Can you feel a little stretch there? Good. Take a breath in. Reach both hands high to the sky as you square up your chest. Exhale and grab your blocks. Let's just push it back. Give yourself a little break and a fold in your half split. So we've already worked a little bit on these hamstrings. So I'm actually going to give you guys a chance tonight to work on your full split. So you can walk that back knee further back and settle into your splits. You could also use the two blocks that you have to give yourself a really good support. I actually need one block right here for the thigh. And it's okay if your knees are bent. Try the difference between getting your shoulders up over your hips, or if you're still in that half split, just work on settling down with your chest forward. If you notice your hips are opening up to the left, that's okay too. You could keep working on squaring down your hips. If you're like, this is impossible, it's not. Tell your body it is possible. One day, you keep working at it. Our tissues are so malleable, but the key is consistency. Give yourself 3 more breaths wherever you're at. Maybe you deepen in a little more by pulling up your toes. Okay, take your time. Go really slow with this one. Pull your front heel in or tuck your back toes under and scooch that knee so it's right underneath your hips again. Snag your blocks. Let's bend into the right foot again, right knee. Tuck your left toes under. Lift up that knee, but straighten out both legs for a second. Okay, feel out your back calf. I want you to find a little bit of energy now through your quads. You can step your left foot up and in so your stance is a little wider. Keep your left hand down on your block. Okay. Notice how my spine is rounded right now.
Try to bend into your front knee a little bit so that your spine is like a halfway lift. Okay, so pulling your shoulder blades down your back. Take a breath in and reach your right arm up towards the sky for a twist. So you're in a twisted pyramid pose. So depending on how that felt when you were on your back with your leg across your body diagonally, this might feel pretty accessible, or it might feel the same as what you did when you were on your back. Take one more breath in. Use the full breath out to travel back down, squaring off your chest. And let's actually practice putting the hands down. Pick your back heel up. Step your right foot back so that you're in a high plank on your hands, either on your toes or lower onto your knees. And just take a big breath in, pushing down. Exhale, keep that push in your shoulder blades, but lower by bending your elbows. Come all the way to your belly, lengthen out your toes so they're really long behind you. Take your hands either by your shoulders or lower by your low ribs. Breathe in and push yourself up, getting some extension in your spine. It doesn't have to be a full-on straight elbow thing. You'll still feel that good stretch in your belly and openness in your heart. When you breathe out, use your core, shift your hips back through table, tuck your toes under, back to downward facing dog. Take 3 rounds of breath here. Settle into your body in this semi-familiar shape. And then breathe in, lift your heels high. Taking that slow count, right? Exhale, bend your knees and walk it all the way up. Use your blocks or your thighs. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. This time, push through your feet. Inhale, lift yourself all the way up to stand. Reach up. Turn on your quads. Exhale, pull your hands in towards your heart. Right into the next side. Inhale, send your prayer high. Exhale, fold in half. Blocks are with thighs. Inhale, take your halfway lift. Exhale, find those blocks. Keep your left foot in front. Step your right foot back, followed by your right knee. Walk yourself up so you're balancing. Shoulders over hips for now, right? And just pull your hips back for a second so you can feel out this tuck. I want the most tuck you can get for now while your low back is neutral. And keep that neutrality while you just shift your hips forward. Your left knee is right over your ankle. Okay, you should feel the right hip flexors. Everything's starting to work for you. Take your arms up and overhead. Okay, call in that balance. Check in with the feedback that you get from the ground and close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And even if you don't feel comfortable, know that this is where growth happens. Challenges are good. Talk to the heel, talk to the big toe. Practice that spread of your toes to give you more balance, more support. And breathe in, open your eyes. Exhale, let your arms come down to shoulder height, but keep swinging with that left arm all the way back. And keep your reach going long. So remember, your belly button is facing forward towards your feet, towards the top of your mat. Your chest, if it had a laser beam coming straight out of it, would be trying to get to the long edge of your mat. Keep your reach. Notice if you inch your hips out, can you find a deeper lunge? Keep that active, open heart. One more. And then bring your left hand to your low back to start. Inhale and flip your right palm up towards the sky. Reach it back. Maybe you just slide your left hand down your thigh or your calf. It definitely matters where your eyes go for your balance. So if it helps you, keep looking at the floor. Or look at something on the wall in front of you that, or on the side of you that's not moving. You start to feel that burn in your hips, in your ankles. Last one. Use your inhale to take both hands high. Exhale, fold yourself forward as you straighten out your left leg. Okay, same thing on this side. Maybe you take one just small pause to feel this one out before you select a deeper variation. Okay, but we will play with, or have time for playing with the full split. This side feels different for me. How about for you? I need 2 blocks for this side. That feels more accessible. Okay. Right, you can work with that same mechanism that we were doing before in the lunge, right? Pulling your tailbone underneath you, pulling your waistline back. You'll feel more in your back leg on the front, or you can just completely surrender again. Dive into that hamstring length on your front side. Check in with your breath. Maybe you get your belly or your chest a little closer to your front leg, or your whole entire pelvis gets a little heavier. Take 3 more. And then take your time. Get out any way you can, but go slow. I like to start with my back knee and then my front foot and then my back knee and then my front foot. Okay, grab both of your blocks. And with your left knee bent, let's tuck the right toes under, lift up your back leg, or back knee, and just step your right foot a little wider so that your feet can be grounded and your pelvis can feel a little more squared down. Okay, turn on your quads. Okay, push down into your blocks and feel this length in your spine. So remember, we're like doing the halfway lifting. Keep your right hand down in your block. Inhale with your left arm up towards the sky for this twist. And you may notice that your right hip wants to drop down. Yeah, so you can pick it up and feel that squaring off. You can also work on finding more depth in this fold. So even if your spine is long, you could still hinge forward from your hips. So find the right depth with the right height of your block. And feel this stretch, this opposition, reaching with the left hand, pushing down with your right hand. Where that all connects is right at the back of your heart, around your thoracic spine. One more inhale. Exhale and lower that hand down. Okay, put your hands on the ground, bend into your left knee, pick up your right heel, breathe in and step all the way back to your plank, on your knees or on your toes, either way. Exhale, lower down really slowly. Let's go and stop halfway down. Then breathe in, push yourself all the way up with your chest, lower your hips down, untuck your toes. Breathe out, tuck your toes under. This time, lift up your hips all the way back to that downward facing dog. Take 2 big breaths here. One more. Then breathe in, lift your right leg all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, pull your knee in, your thigh in. Settle your shin forward. You stretch your left leg long behind you. I want you to roll over towards your left side and give your right thigh a downward push and like a roll out. So you're like rolling that thigh knee out of the way. And then settle your heart back up. Slowly crawl yourself down into your half pigeon with blocks underneath your hip or your head or your heart. And just commit to 5 to 6 deep breaths right here. Let your breath do all of the work for you. It keeps you present. It keeps you in your body. It keeps you feeling things. You get to feel, you get to process, you get to integrate. And then use your breath to come all the way back up onto your hands. I want you to push down strong through your palms. Tuck your left toes under. Breathe in and shift your right leg all the way up and back. You can open up your hips and let your chest and belly stretch out. Then lower your right toes down. Breathe in and lift your left leg high towards the sky for three-legged dog. Exhale and pull your knee underneath you. Let your shin settle down to the earth. You can scoot your right thigh further back until you feel like you're propped up. Put that block underneath your hip if you need to, but lean over to your right. Give yourself that same downward pressure and roll out. So you're externally rotating your thigh. And then maybe breathe in, breathe out, walk yourself down. Come to the support of your space, your mat in front of you. Take one more. And use your breath to climb yourself up. Find your palms down, tuck your right toes under. Breathe in and send your left leg up while you bend your knee and open up your hips to the left. Circle those things out. Put your left foot back down to the ground and then slowly lower yourself onto your knees. You can walk yourself up towards the top of your mat, cross your ankles, or just swing your feet out the other way. Go ahead and take your time lowering all the way down to the ground. Whatever way it feels comfortable for you. For me, it's you don't need to bring your blocks with you. But once you land on your back, plug your thighs in towards your heart for one more moment. Rock it out. Ask if there's anything else that you desire for your practice today. If there's nothing left, settle into your rest. First, by giving yourself a big hug and squeeze. Kiss your knees, kiss your thighs. Say thank you. Exhale and let your legs straighten out. Let your arms come by your side or overhead if you've got the space. Just relax all the muscles around your mouth, and your eyes. Let your teeth separate. Maybe your tongue slides across the back of the top row. And then it can settle back down into the cave of your mouth.
Let your throat loosen up by keeping your chin off your chest. Let your body melt into the ground. Take 5 more conscious breaths, just as the watcher. Still resting your body. And you can stay longer if you'd like, or just take your time moving through these transitions. And just do a body scan. Maybe start adding movement in your toes or your hands and fingers. You can add a full body stretch. Bend your knees, roll over onto your side. And pause just to think of one thing you're grateful for. I'm just going to share with you, I'm really grateful for my friends and family right now. You can use your top hand to push yourself up to a seat when you're ready to carry all that gratitude with you off your mat and into the rest of your day. Sit yourself up tall, keep your eyes closed or soft, and just gather all that energy into your hands right at your heart space that you just process, that you just work through, using your breath in your body. Collect one more breath in through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. And just give yourself some humble gratitude to yourself. Thank you so much for showing up. From our hearts to yours. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you.